What is up, everyone? Welcome to another one here on my Cowboys family. Cowboys chat here. Quickie tonight. It's going to be a quicker live stream tonight. There's multiple reasons for that. Appreciate everybody in the house. Make sure you don't forget to hit the like button for the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Keep growing this thing. And, of course, hit that notification bell. So we go live nightly here on MCF. Pretty much nightly, every single day of the goddamn year. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you know we're going live. You can also find out when we're going live. You sub up to or follow us over on X, Twitter, whatever. All social media at MyCowboysFamily. You got the Discord. Appreciate everybody in the house tonight hitting the like and the subscribe and all that good stuff. Let's talk some Cowboy football here tonight. We've got our Giants. The New York Giants are up next. And you can see it's on Jerry Jones's mind, Dak's mind. Number 12, not Roger Staubach. But we got another player in the house here. We won't be wearing number 12. We'll talk about him in a minute. But let's first talk about those that make the thing go on, round and round here. On the nightly, my Cowboys family. And the guy who took over the boards pretty much, the top boards, the last 2 weeks as our sponsor of the week, Snug X. You know why he's here. Much love to Snug. But he's got 12 weeks in a row of domination, 3 months of domination as the king of the Cash App. Extra special shout out to him there. See Retro Scotty hanging on there with 79 points in good shape in the green right there for Retro Scotty hanging on there. And of course, you got the man staying skeptical. Skeptical fan. He's our gifting champion last week. Much love to him as always. Skeptical fan had 12 gifted memberships last week. As far as this week is concerned, Skeptical fan said, hold up, I'm going to try to break this big streak by Snug X. And currently, he is the leader on the Cash App board. As you can see, multiple ways of dropping the love. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, which is the way Skeptical went. And, of course, the Streamlabs. All four of those ways fall under the Cash App crownage. So, Skeptical on the overall board, but also giving through PayPal. He puts him at first place on our Cash App board. So, much love to him. Going for that. Trying to break that big streak by the man, Snug X. And then, if you look at nobody's leading the gifting board this week. No gifted memberships yet. But if you look at the overall board right now, you got some people here representing that star for everything from that star level membership. You know, last night, amazing games in that navy blue crew. Much love to him. He is, he was the leader on that overall board. But as we always shout out here, the star level members. And it's still locked and loaded here, along with the over everything, the king of the membership. Currently, one person in that level, that's Seabass, who will be on the show. Looks like he's going to be on the show on Saturday night. Can't wait for that. Much love to Seabass in the house, repping that star over everything. Who are the other members in the top shelf membership? Not just the over everything, but that star level. Skeptical fan, Jason Renfro. You got Lincoln Kane. Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, of course, much love to Marissa, De Lunatic in the house. All these star-level members. Again, give another shout-out to the man Seabass, who's the only over-everything top-shelf member. Always shout out everybody in those on those levels every night that they're on here, and appreciate every single buddy that contributes to the channel all those ways as well. But we also got to shout-out those that are in the house tonight in the chat, like the man, Cowboys Mosh. You know him, guys, the Jersey man. Get your jerseys from him. Sub it up to him if you haven't yet. And, of course, we have that top shelf star level membership raffle every month. Going to give the big shout out right here, right now, to all those, like I said, all those star and over everything level. These are Cowboy Mosh jerseys sewn and stitched. You know how it goes here, guys. A lot of choices, a lot of names, new and old, Hall of Famers, legends, newer players. A whole bunch of different styles. We rep them every single week here. Get your jerseys from Cowboy Mosh. What you doing with yourself if you haven't yet? And as you can see, it's only me tonight. Yeah, me. That's it. Only me here at MCF. But there's a reason. The wife has a very early day at work. She has to be at her job site at like 7:45, I think, 7:30, 7:45. So, yeah, there's no way with our usual late starts. There's no way she was going to make the show tonight, but there's not much going on tonight, so I could pick up the entire the load here going forward. But let me shout out everybody in the house. Again, Cowboys Mosh, Choctaw, Montana, 808, Mike Aldana, Orlando Rodriguez here with us. Appreciate you. Freedom First, who was first in the house. And, as we keep going, I'm sure other people will trickle in. I'll try to shout everybody out. I'm not as good as the wife when it comes to this, but I we'll be talking Cowboy football tonight. So let's get it rolling here. It'll be a quick, again, guys, unless you guys slow me down, you guys get your 2 cents in on things, you guys want me to read a comment or something, I'll go back and kind of, skim through everything, but we're going to get done early tonight. Quickie to here. It really should have been a Cowboys quickie with the news, info, and updates. But let me start off with some crazy stories. I think crazy because, we just heard NFL news, former head coach Josh McDaniels. He was just fired by the Raiders, but he had been fired from the Broncos before that. When he was the head coach for the Broncos, there was a rumor that had basically Josh McDaniels thinking that his wife was attracted to Peyton Hillis. When he was, again, guys, this is per a former player, tight end from the Broncos, who said that because of the attraction that his wife had, McDaniels' wife, to Peyton Hillis, he had Peyton Hillis traded. According to this player, quote, after trading Cutler, Josh addressed the entire team and said, fellas, don't worry about the quarterback situation. I can turn a high school quarterback into an all-pro. Yeah. Again, when you're seeing this, he's a fraud. There, Josh McDaniels is a big-time fraud. So it looks like, McDaniels, again, second head coach job. He's losing a lot of different rumors and stuff regarding his situation there. Yeah, very strange. Now, another very strange situation that happened in the NFL today. New Orleans, guys. A New Orleans man posed as an NFL player, believe it or not. Earl Thomas. Remember Earl Thomas? Yeah, he hasn't played in a while, but again, he posed as him in almost a $2 million identity theft scheme. Crazy. This New Orleans man pretended to be Earl Thomas in order to steal money from his bank accounts. Steal money from, cash from his NFL checks and transfer ownership of several vehicles. This is, again, a $1.9 million identity theft situation in Jefferson Parish. That's in New Orleans, like I said. Kevin J. Thompson, he's 38 years old, was arrested in June on charges of identity theft, forgery, money laundering, credit card fraud, computer fraud, and bank fraud. Crazy because, believe it or not, Thompson is in a relationship with Earl Thomas's ex-wife, Nina Thomas, who is also from New Orleans. So he's kind of getting the info from her a little bit, it seems. He used the driver's license with his photo, but Earl Thomas's information to create a phony bank account and try to transfer vehicle titles. This is what the authorities said. So, they're trying to get his Earl Thomas's blue Rolls Royce Cullinan SUV that he drove to the bank where he was arrested. So again, this is insane. This guy basically took over Earl Thomas's identity, dating his ex-wife, I think. Earl Thomas's ex-wife, and was able to kind of almost pull up a huge scam. But again, got caught up in June, July, and he's going to go to jail for a while, it looks like. So just want to throw it out there. By the way, in the house here, I also see, of course, Orlando, Cowboys Mosh, Mike Aldana, Pioneer, Mater 97, much love, and go Cowboys. Can't do this without you guys' love and support. And another, I guess this is kind of crazy. This is a crazy statement. Carson Wentz was signed today? Holy shit, what? Yeah, believe it or not, someone signed Carson Wentz. The Los Angeles Rams, who just whipped them up a couple weeks ago. Carson Wentz officially signing with the Rams. A full circle moment, kind of, right there. The Rams drafted Jared Goff, the number 1 overall pick in 2016. Carson Wentz to the Eagles. Wentz went to the Eagles, the number 2 pick. Goff went to the Lions to replace Matthew Stafford, who replaced Goff in L.A., and now Wentz is backing up Stafford in L.A. It's a crazy circle there. Rams have had the number 1. Now they have had, number 1, number 2, number 5, and number 9 picks of the 2016 draft on their roster at one point or the other. Like I said, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Jalen Ramsey, and Leonard Floyd. They were on their teams in their, since 2016. They've had all these guys top picks in that 2016 draft. You know who was the top pick? Dak Prescott in the 4th round. Anyways, quarterback news as well. One last NFL news. Titans head coach Mike Vrabel named Will Levis the official starting quarterback and Ryan Tannehill as the backup. I believe that's the way it should be as well. But it's funny because the 3 AFC South teams have turned to and identified rookies as their quarterbacks of the future, setting up the 2024 season to look this way. Titans with quarterback Will Levis. Texans with quarterback C.J. Stroud burning it up over there. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson. And then the Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Interesting future there, a young future in the AFC South. Oh, shit. And to kick it off the things for tonight, the man, Mark Hovsepian, dropping that 5 on it. Much love. This is going to be a good discussion night, possibly. Now, here's your chance to get in your comments tonight, because it's going to be a very talkative one with a little bit of news. and more discussion, info, updates. You know how it goes. Much love to Mark. He said, only Jerry Jones would brag about nabbing Martavis Bryant. We'll talk about that in a minute. Trust me, I got you. He said, shows you all his receiver picks have blown. Fehoko, gone. Tolbert really looked good, he said. 10 receptions. Gallup over Cooper. The clown show continues their destruction. Let's be honest, right, Mark? I agree. We're going to get back to that in a minute. I promise I'm going to cover some Martavis Bryant. But again, some people are making it bigger than it needs to be. And you know who's usually pumped up by the clown show. I hear you, Mark. Trust me. We're in the same page, Mark Hovsepian, when it comes to this these situations with our these moves the Cowboys make. Like it's some kind of desperate move they need to make because they weren't able to make a trade or they didn't even look to make a trade. Now the Cowboys are shopping at the thrift store. No offense to Martavis Bryant, and we'll talk about him, but he hasn't played since 2018. And we talked about this yesterday. So, you know, it's unfortunate. It is what it is. It's the clown show. It's the way it's always done here in Dallas. Again, sometimes they might have pulled out some lucky stuff, but they have definitely not tried enough. They have not tried enough to get this team, I think, ahead of things. But it should not be a surprise to not one person out here. We all know that's the way the front office does. That's the way they roll. And again, I know that I'm not surprised. It's frustrating, not surprising. And before I even keep it going here, the man Mark Hovsepian dropping another 5 on it, as he's now in third place on the overall board, just like that. The all-time sponsor of the week, 15 weeks in a row. Much love, Mark Hovsepian. He said, we get a new offensive line coach who's been all over the NFL and specializes in north-south running. But our running back is an east-west guy. A draft full of running backs, and we get a gimmick running back, like as he's talking about Deuce Vaughn. And I hear you. And again, Deuce has been lost, not loose, with the Cowboys. Looks like that is a failed situation every week. He's inactive. And yeah, the good thing here, Mark, is that next year in 2024, it's also very heavy in good running backs. But yeah, you're saying it. This offense, this front office, it seems to get, square pegs in circular holes. That seems to be the way that they roll with things, right? That's insane. That's crazy. Much love, everybody else here in the house. Pioneer, Seabass, Chalkta, Montana, Mater, Mike Aldana, Pioneer, of course, Mark Hovsepian. Appreciate you guys. Now, as I keep it rolling here, I promise any other comments, I will hit them up. I will discuss them. I will talk about them. This front office is always clown show. We know this. And the clown show spoke today, believe it or not, guys. And as we build up to our big move, signing a receiver, a guy who hasn't played for a shitload of years, you guys know who spoke today, right? You see him on the front of the thumbnail, Jerry Jones. He was not short on praise for quarterback Dak Prescott. On his weekly appearance on Tuesdays, Shannon RJ 105 through the fan, he said this about Dak Prescott, quote, I think I saw where that's the most pressures we've had on Dak, and that just shows again what kind of game he played. He was outstanding. The game that he played, we should be able to get there if Dak can play games like that. Now, I know that's maybe a little different a thing to hear from me, but if Dak can have those kinds of games, we can, I think, get to where we want to be this year. Which means the Super Bowl. Which means Dak can get us. I have no doubt about Dak getting us here. I have a problem with Jerry Jones helping us get there. That's the bigger problem, Jerry. But Dak should not be relied upon every game to have to carry the entire team. And he's been doing that off and on the last couple of weeks. And I'm just saying, we need to have other things happen. We need a defense to play up a little more 3 out of the 4 quarters. We need a lot of things that need to be fixed here. But yeah, Dak had a great game. I still say Dak could have had a better game. We talked about it yesterday in detail. The missed play to Jake Ferguson on 4th down. He went to Tolbert. I don't know why Dak went to Tolbert. I don't know if that's the fucking game, the plan from McCarthy. But I know one thing. Number 87 was wide open in the middle of the field for an easy first down and probably, when you watch the all 22 from above, a touchdown to take the lead with 1:10 in the game. Dak missed that. That's on Dak. That's not on anyone else. In my opinion, Dak looked off a wide open Jake Ferguson. Well, let me stop for a second. It was the man, once again, with the plan. All the way from Hawaii, Mark Hovsepian dropping a $5 holler. Retro down to 64 points in the Stream Boss. And Mr. Mark Hovsepian said, quote, remember, Mr. MCF, we talked about nabbing a receiver to to stretch the field. I wanted a Minnesota wide receiver possession guy. JJ not using that speed. 1,000-yard receiver wasted. And, you know, I like that guy. What's that guy from the Vikings? And he went number 19, Thielen. He's looking pretty good with the Panthers for their shitty team they got. Imagine if he was on our team, a guy that could, I don't want to say stretch a field, but possession guy, right? We got Brandon Cooks stretching the field. We haven't used him, right? The guy gets 1,000-yard seasons in 9 years. And right now, it looks like he's not going to get a fucking 500-yard season with the Cowboys. So we're not using that speed. That's a waste, and that's where the front office sometimes, you know, gets that square peg in into that round circular hole. Mark Hosepian dropping another $2 holler. He said, "You see, I'd rather have a prostate exam than hear Jerry Jones." Luckily, you hear my voice, not Jerry's voice. But yes, it is Jerry's thoughts. Now, I'm 100% with Mark on the fact that, you know, the receiver type was an issue. If we get a guy as speedy, we got to use that speed, or else what are we doing? We haven't really done that with Brandon Cooks. That's Mike McCarthy. That's, you know, the plan's supposed to be using him. I can't fault Jerry Jones for going after him, but Martavis Bryant is the bottom of the barrel, you know, possession type guy. You can say he's got the speed. We'll talk about him in a minute. But he's not the answer. He's been laying around out there for a long time. Yeah, the Tennessee Titans would have looked at him if we didn't sign him. He's a practice squad guy right now. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk more about this signing. And Mark, Jerry Jones makes a quick blurb on this. As we're talking about Dak, though, and let me make sure I get Dak back on the scene, crispy and clean. Dak did have a great game, but he could have had a better game. We could have won if he had a little bit better game. That's putting everything on Dak's shoulders, which I said you can do one out of every 4 games. You need some other guys to step up, and nobody really stepped up in this game other than CeeDee Lamb. But when you look at the top 5 quarterbacks, when it comes to the QBR rating, quarterback ratings, and this is not like an analytic as much as it is kind of getting all of the basic stats and putting it into one. And when you go to ESPN and look at their QBR rating after 9 weeks, Josh Allen a 75.3 rating, Brock Purdy a 74.9, Patrick Mahomes 73.0, Dak is 4th with a 67.5 quarterback rating, and Justin Herbert's 5th, 66.6. You look at the ESPN analytics, you look at the ESPN kind of stashing everything into one statistic, and Dak's the 4th best quarterback of the NFL as of now, this year. Doesn't make a difference. We don't win games. But it can't just be Dak doing everything. Sorry. So, you know, Dak can't miss those easy ones, too. Well, that he had, I mean, again, a great quarterback would have seen that Jake Ferguson opening right there. So Dak's got to still do a little more work, I think. And I don't know if he's ever going to be able to get there to get to that great level. But Dak is a great human. We know this. And he's a quarterback that's more than capable of helping us win a Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind. Shouldn't be a doubt in anyone's mind. Dak can do it. You just got to make sure you got maybe better coaching, better everything. And, hey, how about a defensive play waking up? How about a turnover from the defense? Can we get that from our strength? Dak Prescott today, with the Medal of Honor recipient, Flo Groberg, Cowboys Executive Vice President Charlotte Jones, and the National Medal of Honor Foundation President Chris Cassidy, they were all at AT&T Stadium today for NFL's Character Playbook. More than 400 students from Arlington were in attendance. And you remember, this is Dak. Dak's wearing, you see on the thumbnail, he's got his little Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year pin. He was wearing that today, having the logo on his, the game practice jersey, getting the picture outside of the locker room with the outside the star, alongside previous winners that won that award, like Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, and Jason Witten. Dak Prescott was interviewed today after this event, and they were asked about the loss, different players, Brandon Cooks, Terrence Steele. Dak said, quote, "We know who we are, and we know we can play, and we know what it's going to take. We just got to do it. No moral victories in this thing. Ready and hungry to get back to work." Damn right, Dak. Get the fuck back to work, and got to pull it through next time, because this kind of shit, we will be knocked out one and done in the playoffs. Dak also said he needs to get a playmaker like Brandon Cooks the ball more often, kind of what Mark Hosepian said earlier. He also said that that was not the difference in the loss on Sunday to the Eagles. And I agree with Dak on that. Brandon Cooks getting the ball, not getting the ball is not the reason we won or lost that game. But maybe overall it could have helped us win the game if we had got more Brandon Cooks usage, whether it's Dak or McCarthy planning for it. We got to find that we got to help that situation. And then the biggest issue, Terrence fucking Steele. I mean, he gave Dak, a second and a half to throw the ball on those 4 sacks he allowed. Dak talked about Terrence Steele bouncing back. He said, quote, Terrence has faced this adversity before. He's not going to allow one game to dictate how the rest of his season goes, end quote. And while I agree with Dak on that, it's not just one game. Terrence Steele's been having a bad season. Let's just be honest and real about that. Marco Sepien saying, I'm going to be honest and real about that 5 on it. And the man dropped the love from above, the $5 holler. He said, 2 years in a row, and Philadelphia can't stop CD. Again, those stats came versus poor defenses. Dak needs to improvise more, and we need people to help him more. And I agree with Mr. Marco Sepien that Dak needs to continue to improvise, because Dak is improvising. So I don't know about more, but Dak is improvising and getting things done. He's got to see the field a little better. He's got to be able to stick to his reads a little, a trickle longer, because that's all he needed to get Jake Ferguson for a touchdown. So he still has to clean up some stuff. Will he ever get there, Mark? Probably not. He'll never get to that great elite level quarterback, but we got to understand he's a top 10 guy, and he does need others to step up. Defense, the coaches, the fucking other players. We had drops from Gallup and drops from CeeDee Lamb. Had a great game, CeeDee Lamb. Got to call out the drops and calling out Dak's misses too, right? It's a group situation. We had multiple chances. If one of those things happened right, we win the game. We beat the Eagles. And no one's talking about Dak as can't do it. That's the silly part to me. So, yeah, I hear you, and I agree. But I don't know about the improvising. I think Dak's doing a great job getting there on his own. In the stats, I mean, listen, I'm going to be real, Mark. When I look at these other quarterbacks on that list, Josh Allen and Herbert, and come on, my guy. They also played easy teams then. They played easy teams too. Some of them play the same teams we played, right? So I'm not going to, all those stats are skewed. Mahomes and all these guys, they've played easy teams and easy defenses as well. So I'm not going to just say, Dak's stats are skewed. All their stats are skewed because they all played easier teams. Probably out of 8 games, they probably all played 5 easy teams like we did. Just being honest, all right? So we might have played 6, others maybe played 4. Everyone's played easy teams, and that skews all the stats. So Dak, top 4, top 5 quarterback in the analytics of NFL and their quarterback rating system, just showing you all of them, all right? Dak's at lowest, maybe 12th, 13th on most NFL lists. But analytically, at worst, on most lists, he'll be at the bottom, at 12th or 10th spot. But on most NFL lists, he'll be in the 8, 9, 10, maybe higher than that. Like I said here, an example, 4th. So Dak's a top 10 quarterback. But we got to get top 10, work from him and from the team. The combination of things, in my opinion. So I hear you, Mark. Trust me, I know. And I don't mind Dak putting on his shoulders once every 3-4 games. I have a problem with, like last year, Dak putting on his shoulders, forced to take on his shoulders every single week. That's not sustainable. Dak is not John Elway. He's not Joe Montana. So, he's up there, but he's not them. And so they're not going to be able to do it every week. Guys like that do it every week. Dak is not one of those guys, but Dak can do it once every 3-4 weeks. Put it on his shoulders, he'll get you a victory. I'm confident in that when it comes to Dak Prescott, but do it every week, I'm not so confident anymore. You guys feel me on this? So it's more about management of the way you use and rely on Dak Prescott. When you got to put it on his shoulders, make sure it's not an entire game over and over again, and then on top of that, it's week after week after week. So that's the way I see that, Mark. Retro holding it down there, 57 points up there, and appreciate everybody here dropping their thoughts along with the love. There's another 5 on it from Mr. Marco Sepien. Let me see what he says. He said, this year I said that our O-line is an issue. And we were talking about that too, Mark, but we thought more about the backup situation, right? So he said left tackle will get injured, which that's always on and off. When he's in there, though, let's be real. Tyron Smith had a damn good game. He said Tyler would be good. Of course, he will be. Center is the best of poor centers in the league. And I'd say best of the average centers, not poor. I think that's lowballing Biotish. I think he's the best of the average centers. Maybe he's a top 12, top 13 center in the league. And he said right guard is aging with Zach Martin. We know that. And the right tackle injury issue. I'm assuming you're saying Terrence Steele there at the right tackle spot. I hear you. Amazing games. Dropping that 5 on it. And he's in second place. I think Mark jumped into second now. I'm going to have to check these numbers here. Mark Yeah, he is second right now, Marco Sepien. And Amazing Games is third, still in third with the $5 holler. But yeah, I just wanted to first let me finish with Marco Sepien. Offensive line is an issue. We knew it was going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue every year, as it always is going to be for every team. Every team has offensive line issues pretty much other than the freaking Eagles. So the way I see that is, I think that we have to just replenish our offensive line as these years continue. And I think the replenishment is going to be, it's got to be left tackle. It's got to be left tackle. Tyron Smith's got to be exited out the door here nicely. But we got to do it with a guy coming in place. We cannot waste any more time on that. And the good news is running back and offensive line is strong this year in the draft in this next offseason 2024. So that's a good thing there, Mark. But yeah, I hear you. I feel you. And I wish the Cowboys would maybe address that a little sooner. We all have been talking about the offensive line for years. Got Tyler Smith. Terrence Steele, I never bought into him 100%, but I know that he definitely showed big improvements. But I was always nervous, like Michael Gallup, signing him after that tear. Bad idea. Jerry Jones, clown show. They do what they do. Amazing Games said, my MCF, Dallas will beat the brakes off the Giants. That Amazing Games. Much love to you. By the way, I agree. Right now, we're going to talk about the Giants as well. We're going to touch a first look on the Giants, but man, the Cowboys are favored by 15.5 to 16 points in this game. Oh my goodness. I mean, you'll see why. You'll understand why when we talk about this breakdown. And this is not even the breakdown tonight. This is just we're just touching on stuff. It's crazy. Appreciate you guys. By the way, Retro Scotty to 47 points. Code Red. He's right under that 50 mark right there. He's in the red right now. What's up, Thomas Garrett in the house? Get money. Here with us. Amazing Games, of course. Mike Aldana. Pioneer. Who else? Of course, Marco Sepien. Much love to Asmodeus here chilling with us. Rolando Rodriguez. What is up, family? Appreciate everybody here. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hit that bell, and let's keep this thing rolling. Now, as we talked about Dak's side of things, he spoke. We heard from Dak. We heard from Jerry a little bit. Jerry kept talking. He ain't stopping. Mike McCarthy yesterday, he didn't speak today, Mike McCarthy, but yesterday he said that there were challenges for Terrence Steele coming back from that torn ACL, which scares me. I know he said that Terrence Steele won't take the blame on that. He won't blame it. I'm sorry, he will not blame it on his injury, but McCarthy thinks it's the injury. This is why you don't sign a guy, Jerry Jones, that comes off a triple tear in a knee. Sorry, I like Terrence Steele, the way he rebounded. Great story. But now we're paying $11 million for him next year. If he could just play above average, that would be a steal. Terrence Steele is stealing right now the money because he's not playing very well after that tear. Jerry Jones was asked, and I think this is what Mark also brought up, about our running back situation. And Tony Pollard coming off that injury. Yeah. So with Pollard's injury off that break, not a torn ACL now, that fibula break, Jerry Jones was asked if the same situation that Mike McCarthy spoke about when it came to Terrence Steele playing a little less explosive and, of course, missing a lot of blocks because of that tear coming back from injury, like kind of McCarthy said, does that same thing apply to Tony Pollard? And according to Jerry Jones, he said, quote, I'm not seeing it at all, and I'm not hearing it from any of the coaches, end quote. So he's saying Tony Pollard's injury is not affecting his ability to run. When you look at Tony Pollard this year, guys, his first 8 games of last year, 2022, Tony Pollard, his first 8 games of the season, he had 81 carries. This year, 120 carries. That's 39 more carries. Last year, he had 506 rushing yards. This year, 474 rushing yards with 39 more carries. That's not good. Last year, he had 5 rushing touchdowns. This year, only 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, to be fair, he was our number 2 behind Zeke. Zeke last year, through his first 8 weeks of the season, had 124 carries. Pollard this year, 120. Zeke had only 485 yards. Pollard, 474 yards. And Zeke had 6 rushing touchdowns. At least to put it in the goal line. Pollard has 2 rushing touchdowns. So, obviously, the Pollard situation is not going too well. I like Pollard. I always thought, again, we should have got a second guy in there somehow. I liked running back in the 3rd or 4th round. We went 6th round and got Deuce Vaughn. That's the claim. That's what Mr. Marco Sepien has an issue with, and I cannot doubt or I cannot go against that thought process, especially that we didn't look for anybody in free agency and the draft and blah blah blah. Here we are. And we barely using Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle looks pretty good. McCarthy says we're going to keep everything the same. So it stays the same. Well, you know it doesn't stay the same. Amazing Games blowing it out the water here. And just like that, Amazing Games, he jumps Marco Sepien. My goodness, we're going back and forth because Lincoln Kane started off with the lead here tonight after his star level membership dropped. But now Marco Sepien came out of nowhere, jumped everyone, said I'm in first place. And then Amazing Games said, hold my beer. I'm in first place now, all the way from the West Coast. Amazing Games dropping that $10 holler. Marco Sepien in second, Lincoln Kane in third. Much love. And what did the man Amazing Games have to say? Quote, Dallas needs to sign an offensive tackle. Double up. I second that. You know I agree. Amazing Games. Marco Sepien. Agree. But let me just give something that my wife always says. MCW always says this, and she's factual about this. This is true. I didn't really recognize that she brought it up, and some of you guys might not recognize it either. But look at the entire NFL. Outside of the Eagles and a couple of other teams that maybe look a little more solid on the offensive line, there's really no O-line depth in the league. There's not even a deep starting rotation of linemen in the NFL right now when you look at things per team. And that's the big issue right now. The lack of top-shelf offensive linemen in the league is showing. Not just on our team or, you can say in our team, we're one of the better off teams. That's why we're ranked 6th on offensive line when they're all healthy. But you talk about depth, every team is suffering big time on that depth drop. And I think that the offensive line situation, the Cowboys are trying to, wait to make their hits on the O-line in the draft. They're not going to really go. They got Chuma Edoga. That was our free agent signing on offensive tackle. He was a guard tackle. So that's what he's doing. And Edoga's doing pretty good for a backup, right? So I cannot complain. I thought our bigger issues there were going to be with the depth. And, of course, with the injuries to guys like Tyron Smith, who always gets hurt. But at least Chuma Edoga is a solid guy right now for us. You're not going to get a superstar as our 6th and 7th guys. But you got a solid Edoga there, the left tackle, could play left guard. And we got options with Tyler Smith. We got options left. So I can't get mad about the offensive line situation. I'm thinking, like Mark and Amazing Games are saying, I'm thinking not just about this year, though. I'm thinking more about the future of the offensive line. And the lack of talent comes out of college, lack of talent that's in the NFL, every team, all 32 teams in the NFL. It's tough. It's a tough life out there right there to find some offensive linemen. Cowboys are lucky we have 6 of them that are reliable. Let's be honest. So I'm not going to get mad at the clown show for that one. I can't. I got to eat my words on that one. And so, hey, I'm happy that we have. It actually was a positive up to this year so far on the offensive line. But are we really that 6th ranked offensive line just because everybody else can't find their pieces? I think we're a little overrated on the offensive line as well. Now, Jerry Jones was also asked about Brandon Cooks, who's been MIA pretty much the entire year. We talked about his numbers and kind of where he's at this season. But Brandon Cooks, let me throw him up on the screen here. Jerry Jones talked about Brandon Cooks being missing. Is he a bad fit for the Cowboys? According to Jerry Jones, he said, quote, no. Brandon, he's indispensable because he gives us that speed receiver, but he gives us an outstanding receiver as well as the speed, and we need that. He also said that there's other mouths to feed. Now, I know he wanted to see more Jake Ferguson involved, which I love that idea. He is much more involved. I mean, great game for him, a career game for him against the Eagles, but we have the speed for Brandon Cooks. That's why we need him. He's an outstanding receiver, but he's got the speed. When the fuck we seen the speed? Where's the fucking speed, Jerry? There is no speed yet. We haven't shown it. We haven't opened up this Brandon Cooks abilities that he has. We're going on curl routes, out routes. I don't see Brandon Cooks catch any deep passes except for that touchdown against the Rams. We were live in full effect. That's it. That's as deep as fucking play he's had all season. So that speed, Jerry Jones, 8 weeks in the fucking halfway through the year, and no Brandon Cooks speed usage. Not in one fucking game yet. I mean, I'm being honest. When you look at the other mouths to feed, we know the biggest mouth and the best mouth is CeeDee Lamb. He's the guy that's running the show out there, one of the top receivers in the league. In fact, when you look at the top receivers right now through week 9, Tyreek Hill, 1,076 yards. A.J. Brown, 1,005 yards. Stephon Diggs, 834 yards. Puka Nacua, 827 yards. And 3 yards behind Nacua is CeeDee Lamb. 10 yards behind Stephon Diggs. I'm just saying. Tyreek Hill And A.J. Brown, they're in the thousands already, right? And then it drops off to the 834 yardage mark, which is Stephon Diggs. And 824 is CeeDee Lamb. I'm just saying CeeDee Lamb will be the number 3 receiver in the NFL. He keeps putting these numbers up in the next couple of weeks. And slowly but surely, he should catch up to A.J. Brown and Tyreek Hill, the challenge for the most yards. Again, like I said last night, if he doubles up what he did now, the second half of the season, he will break a lot of records in receptions and yards for a single season by a wide receiver. Cowboy history. So that's something to look at there. But then, I guess, again, we got CeeDee Lamb. We brought in Brandon Cooks and barely used him. Michael Gallup's still not playing to his expectation after that injury 2 years into this thing. Jalen Tolbert, who's looking better than Michael Gallup and making the step up, getting those reps, getting those snaps from Michael Gallup. So that's going that way. We got 4 receivers in the mix. Don't forget Turpin, who scored a touchdown, I think. And I'm just saying, guys, like we're going 5 deep here at receiver, and I guess that wasn't enough for the old Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones mentioned multiple times today at the end of his interview that the Cowboys are really working hard, figuring out and having workouts with a wide receiver today. And his name, of course, is Martavis Bryant. Now, that was earlier in the day when Jerry was talking. But then the conversation ended, and then we had to take a look at who he signed. And we did sign someone. He did end up signing with a very good workout. Jerry Jones was kind of hinting it. He was bragging a little bit about it. Oh, Jerry Jones pulling this one out of his hat. Yeah, don't expect much, guys. Yes, we did get Martavis Bryant, 6'4". He runs the 40 in 4.2, I think it was. And he's 31 years old. Fantastic speed, height, big guy, former Steelers wide receiver. Of course, that's when he has best days. Signed to the Cowboys practice squad after the workout. He's 31. He most recently played in the XFL before his NFL suspension in 2018. He played for the Raiders last, and he had 17 touchdowns, 183 receiving yards in his 44 career games, again, with the Oakland Raiders. After that, he was suspended indefinitely for marijuana use, which is stupid, but it is the rules. Like Gregory, was gone indefinitely, finally got re-signed, got readmitted to the NFL after 5 years. Again, he was in the XFL most recently, but look, he worked out for the Cowboys this afternoon. He met with the coaching staff afterward. Everything went smoothly. So he's definitely, according to all sources, he's going to practice this week with the Cowboys and, of course, in the NFL for the first time since 2018. And the Cowboys had an open space on the practice squad. We bring in a formerly talented, big, fast receiver for an extended look at the practice squad. Now, Dez Bryant, part of the hype machine, he said, quote, "Say what you want, but this is a great pickup. He has rare talent. Give Martavis Bryant 3 weeks, and it's showtime." Now, I love Dez, but slow down. Slow the fuck down, Dez Bryant. Listen, number one, no reason not to sign. I'm not against signing Martavis Bryant. You sign him. That's it. You might get your 6th guy in there eventually. Who knows, right? Jalen Brooks, he's our draft pick in the 7th round. So, hey, challenging that. That's all we're challenging right here. Practice squad to our 6th receiver spot at the moment. That's it at best. So there's no reason to not sign him, but there's also no reason to expect it will have any impact. So I disagree with Dez Bryant. You can't suck at his nuts for 5 years thinking he's still going to have that same talent he had 5 years earlier. We'll have to wait and see. He was robbed of some years. Can he get back? It's worth rolling the dice. But family, it's just a roll of the dice. It's hope. It's me. High upside, high ceiling. But he's not the savior of this team. Trust me on this. The Cowboys went and shopped at the thrift store after the trade deadline. That sounds to me like clown showage. Who's in the house tonight? Oh, I got to put up the Giants. I apologize. I forgot to put up the Giant emojis. I got to re-put them up from the first week of the season, so I will do that. I promise. The lunatic in the house. Much love. Cowboys Mosh here. I don't know about Lel Collins there. I'm hearing Lel Collins is basically a water boy right now. He's not going to be handling it too well playing on any team as a tackle. So I don't like that at all. Amazing games in the house. Cowboys Mosh. The lunatic. Much love. Mike Aldana. Cactus G. In the place to be. Rolando Rodriguez. I do not agree with you guys on La'el Collins. He's missed it. I think he's out of the NFL. Truly, I don't think he will beat out Austin Richards. I'm being honest, guys. I'm trying to tell you the truth here. The Lunatic, Azteca Aguilar in the house. Much love. The chat, yes. Big shout outs to everybody. Hit that like. Smash that like button right now. Of course, sub it up. We're almost at 28.2. That'd be 1,800 away from 30K. 30,000 family members. We're right around the corner, guys. Appreciate everybody in the house. Amazing Games, Cactus G, Mike Aldana, amazing Cowboys Mosh, 3rd and goal. He said Cooks definitely need to be targeted more. Right now, he's basically a decoy. Exactly. Where's that speed that Jerry Jones talking about? We ain't seen it yet. Not one play. Sucking. Yeah, Asmodeus. I know. I get crazy. Justin D in the house. Amazing Games, Cactus. Appreciate everybody. Yeah. Yeah, I know Cactus. He might have worked out with Des Bryant, but that ain't the... Des has a biased look at some of the guys out there. I really hope it works out. I hope everything Des says is right. But in reality, Martavis Bryant is just a practice squad guy trying to make the 53 and become our 6th receiver. That's the best you're going to get right now, I think, from him. Hey, maybe at the end of the year, he'll be a guy that shows up and he's our 3rd guy. Oh, that would be a jackpot. We'll say we're sorry about Jerry Jones. We're sorry for saying that you were shopping at the thrift store. You got lucky. You found gold. You know, that's what we're going to say. And that's what I hope happens. But right now, to be honest, practice squad. That's all he is, and that's all he's probably going to be. Listen, fuck the power rankings, right, guys? Fuck the power rankings. We got to talk about it for a quick second, because where does the world think we're at? The only power ranking that matters is what? Holding up that Super Bowl trophy when you win the championship. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. But everyone wants to talk about it. Blogging the Boys had the Cowboys at 4 last week, dropping to 7. NFL.com had them at 6, dropping to 8. ESPN had us at 5, dropped us to 9. USA Today had us at 6, dropped us to 8. Yahoo also at 6, dropped us to 9th. CBS Sports had us at 4th, dropped us to 7th. The Athletic had us at 9th, out of the top 10 to 12th. And Sports Illustrated had us at 6 last week, dropped us to 9. Not that I give a shit, but you can see we dropped a couple of spots on all these boards, as expected after losing to the fuck Philly Eagles. Now, this week's game against the Giants has drawn Fox's number 1 crew again for this Week 10 game against the Giants. This is the 8th time for the Cowboys in 9 weeks. And I'll show you the schedule. Boom. 8th time. Of course, you had a bye week, so 8th time in 9 weeks. 8th time in 9 games. The Cowboys have gotten that network that they're going to be on, their top commentating crew. Week 1, NBC. Week 2, CBS. Week 3, we got the Cardinals, but that was not a top crew there. Week 4, Fox. Week 5, NBC. Week 6, ESPN. Week 7, bye week. Week 8, the Rams on Fox, top crew. Week 9, of course, the Eagles, the top crew there. And now Week 10 with Fox, again, the top commentating crew. Probably Greg Dumbass Olson. Amazing games. Much love to him. You know what he just did? He did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. The $5 holler. This puts Amazing Games comfortably on top in first place. Trying to get that sponsor of the week representation. Retro Scotty goes to Rashawn Davis right there at 32 points. That's his number. So, again, appreciate you, Mr. Amazing Games. You know what he said? He said, mic drop and go Cowboys. I know, something I said earlier. I get crazy. You know, I say this stuff and I forget half the shit I say. It just flows from the dome, and sometimes it makes no sense. Sometimes it hits it right on the bullseye, I guess. Much love, Amazing Games. Appreciate you, as always. West Coast flavor, repping that star for everything. Go Cowboys. So you can see here the schedule we got. Top crew every single week when it comes to commentating. The media, NFL, they love the Cowboys. They got to get the Cowboys on every freaking big screen TV if it was up to them, because that brings the most viewers. Now, break down a couple quick facts here before we finish up tonight with the Giants and the breakdown here. I'm going to start with this. First of all, we drop them if you got them. And listen, I'm going to put them out there a lot more. You're going to see some of these emojis dropping tomorrow. The Giants, the New York Giants. Yeah, and they're also, fuck them, they're trash, right? This is when they go back to their old logos, there you go, the New York trash. They're tiny. You know, they're not the Giants guys, they're the tinies. Of course, we know there's a lot of, Odell was there. This is what he left, he left this in New York, the Odell factor. And then just the overall, fuck the Giants, Giants suck. That's what we're rolling with here. So, when you look at this, guys, the Dallas Cowboys have won 12 of the last 13 games against the New York Football Giants. The only one we lost when Dak was out. At the end of the year, we didn't mean much at that game. And yeah, But that was the only game we had lost against the Giants in the last 13 games. We've won 5 straight games against the Giants. Cowboys have, again, at home, which we're going back home this time, we've won 11 consecutive games at AT&T Stadium. That's the longest home winning streak in the NFL. That's our longest streak since 1992 as a team. And if we get a 12th straight home victory at AT&T Stadium, it would mark the longest home winning streak by a Cowboys team since we hit 18 wins at home in a row from 1979 through 80 into 81. Hell yeah. Can you imagine that? So right now we might be hitting that 12th game at home. And it'll make us the second longest, or I guess the longest streak since 1979 through 81. Now, we'll talk about 18 in a row. We can win 6 more after that. Then we'll talk about that level of domination. The Cowboys at home have defeated each of our opponents, the Jets, the New England Patriots, and the Rams at home by at least 20 points or more every time we faced any team at home. That's the only team in the NFL in the last 15 years to win of their first 3 home games by 20 or more points. And I expect this game to be over 20 or more points. I'm saying it now without even investigating this game. Not even looking at a matchup. And after dropping the first 2 games, Dak Prescott against the Giants, as a rookie, lost those 2 games. In 2016, he's won 11 straight games. Again, like I said, the only loss was when he was injured. He won 11 straight victories against the division rival Giants. Dak has thrown for 23 career touchdowns against the Giants. That is the most among any team that Dak has faced in his entire career. And then you throw in CeeDee Lamb in the mix against these Giants. CeeDee Lamb right now leads the NFL at 19 receptions of 20 or more 20 plus yards in 2023. That means he's got 19 catches of 20 yards or more. 9 of his 19 big play receptions have occurred in the last 2 games. And that is also the best in the NFL during that time span. So, CeeDee Lamb with Dak Prescott against this Giants defense, we should be tearing him a new a-hole. In fact, when you flip it around, look at our defense. The Cowboy defense has totaled 21 sacks this year. It's not the best. It is top 10. We're 10th best in the NFL at getting sacks, which I think that should be higher. But the Giants offense, they've allowed a total of 49 sacks this year. That is the worst in the entire NFL. And I'm going to talk about the sacks coming because Daniel Jones is getting racked up. It ain't going to stop this week. Jason Renfro ain't stopping. He's dropping that $3.52 holler in the house. Much love to Jason Renfro. You know the man, Jason Renfro. He got that 20-week streak record as that Cash App champ. He's like, let me sprinkle in a little super chat in here for $3.25, and he said, "Yo, Cowboys, let's get that 6 and beyond. Rep that navy blue, silver, and star over everything." And by the way, he again, Retro Scotty hanging on there at 28 points on the stream, boss. And by the way, everybody who's going to get those jerseys, winners of the jerseys, I will get back to you guys. I think it's amazing games and Skeptical Fan. I promise you, I think we're good. We're going to get good on both those jersey requests. I will get that stuff later in the week towards the weekend so we can get that rolling out as soon as possible. Much love to those winners on the Lunatics raffle on that unfortunate loss against the Eagles at halftime. But anyways, back to business here. Sacks. We're 10th best in the NFL. We got 21 sacks. All right. The Giants have allowed 49 sacks. Worst in the NFL. They're losing Evan Neal now, another offensive lineman starter. They're in trouble. When you look at the sack leaders through Week 9, Daniel Hunter with 10 sacks, leading the NFL. Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, 9.5 sacks, along with T.J. Watt, by the way. All 3 of them have 9.5 sacks. Josh Allen and Khalil Mack each have 9. Kayvon Thibodeau with the Giants, we'll have to talk about him later in the week. 8.5 sacks for him. He had 3 in one game, though, if I recall. Trey Hendrickson has 8 this year. And then at 7.5, Justin Mendebuki, Hassan Reddick, and Micah Parsons. 7.5 sacks. Leonard Floyd had 7. But right now, that puts Micah Parsons in a tie for 6th in the NFL with most sacks. I still need to see maybe Micah and his defense get more sacks. 10th is not enough. Against the Giants, I'm going to tell you this. Against the Giants and the Panthers and Washington and Seattle, these numbers should get way up higher. While the Eagles playing tougher games now, and they had their easy games already, now we get our easier games to stack these stats a little bit better. But remember, grain of salt, guys. Remember who we're playing. And by the way, when it comes to Micah Parsons, we're getting 6th leader in sacks right now. In 2023, edge rusher Micah Parsons leads the NFL in pass rush win rate. 33.3% of the time. 1 out of every 3 plays, Micah Parsons gets pressure on the quarterback. He wins the block, and he gets pressure. This again, guys. This is kind of calculated when a defender beats his block in less than 2.5 seconds. That counts as a pass rush win rate or pass rush win. Micah does it 1 out of every 3 plays. That is number 1 in the NFL. So the Giants, they're shitting bricks right now. Now let's stick with the Giants here. Giants suck. We know. We just talked about the way we're going to whip them. But how are they looking? They're kind of looking like this. Today, with very minimal quarterbacks, no Tyrod Taylor on IR, Daniel Jones out for the year. New York Giants today signed journeyman Jacob Eason to the practice squad, guys. Jacob Eason he's a former Panther, Niners, Seahawks, Colts quarterback. He's appeared in 2 career games, this guy. And the only quarterback on the actual 53-man roster for the Giants is Tommy DeVito, because Jacob Eason is on the practice squad. Tommy DeVito, who is, by the way, 17 of 27 for 163 yards and a touchdown. He's completing 63% of his passes. Horrible. He has 2 interceptions. That's how he's looked. That's his numbers over the last 2 games for their current starting quarterback, Tommy DeVito, undrafted rookie free agent. Veteran Matt Barkley was signed to the Giants practice squad last week when Tyrod Taylor was put on the IR. So now they signed Eason, put him on the practice squad. He's completed 5 of 10 career passes. He's thrown 10 passes in his life for 84 yards and an interception. He's got a 50% completion percentage. He's completed more passes to the other. He's completed 4 more passes to his team than to the opposite team. Eason is in trouble. He's not going to be a guy you want to see out there if you're the Giants. Matt Barkley barely knows the offense for the Giants right now. Tommy DeVito is horrible out there. These are the 3 guys they got. That's it. Tommy DeVito, who's the starter. Matt Barkley, the veteran backup, who's, again, on the practice squad. And Jacob Eason, who they just signed. He has 10 passes. He's also on the practice. This is the Giants' quarterbacking school right here. This is their quarterbacking crew. So these injuries for the Giants, they don't stop. They went from up there to tiny. The New York Tinies. Look at this opponent this week at the first look, guys. Daniel Jones, of course, missed 3 games this year with a neck injury. Then he tore his knee ligament on Sunday. A non-contact injury, out for the year. Disappointing campaign for him. Signed a 4-year, $160 million deal this offseason, complicating his and the Giants' future together. Of course, I told you about Tyrod Taylor, who actually got him a win, I think, or almost got him a win. Taylor's playing really good, and he is out for 4 weeks, as we know on IR, at least 4 weeks. The Giants now are turning to Tommy DeVito or Matt Barkley against the Cowboys. Brian Daboll would not commit to DeVito, the current starter, to be the starter after he came in to replace Daniel Jones on that loss against the Vegas Raiders on Sunday. So what's going on here? I mean, third stringer Tommy DeVito. He's the third stringer. He's their starter now. Tommy DeVito, he's an undrafted rookie, took over Daniel Jones after he hurt his knee at the end of the first quarter. So you got a 3-quarter preview of this DeVito guy, where you can see him and anybody else behind him for the next, for the rest of the season, basically. And it was not pretty. DeVito, with him leading the pack here, the Giants scored just 6 points. DeVito was sacked 6 times. The only progress he made during the only time he looked okay was garbage time. I mean, this was like 30-0, this game, 30-6, in the fourth quarter. It was just he got moving, he got the ball moving down the field when the Raiders played prevent. DeVito is the closest thing the Giants have, though. Any type of normalcy on the offense, and he's still trying to, of course, find his way. Brian Daboll would not commit to DeVito because he knows you can't compete in this quarterback-driven league without at least a pro-level quarterback. Matt Barkley, maybe he's the best shot for them. He's still going to get racked up there. He's going to get destroyed. DeVito is a rookie. You got this other guy here they just signed, Eason. He hadn't played nothing. So the Giants there's no way the Giants should even score a fucking touchdown. I'm going to be honest. Let's be real about this. And go back to the last game with these New York trash. When we were in New York, right? We shut those motherfuckers out 40-0 the opening game of the season in the rain. Cowboys are, of course, coming off a tough loss against the goddamn Eagles. But the Giants are limping through the season with, again, I talked about several key issues with injuries and just not playing well. The Giants are 2-7 right now. after losing 30-6 against the Raiders. Cowboys are, of course, 5-3. But it's not just the quarterback issue for the Giants, where they're having injury problems. Remember, last week I talked about it, tight end Darren Waller placed on IR, missing at least 4 more games. Graham Gano, their kicker, they paid him big money, also placed on IR last week. They're going to miss at least 4 weeks total the next 3 weeks. Waller is the Giants' current leader in receptions, 36 receptions. He's out. In receiving yards, he's their leading receiver, tight end, for 384 yards. I mean, Ferguson, I think, has about that or more. So, again, they paid a lot of money for Waller. As far as the kicker is concerned, Graham Gano, the Giants signed Randy Bullock and Cade York to the practice squad last week, and they're just hoping one of them can come through to hit an extra point or field goal or two. What about running back Saquon Barkley? When he's healthy, he's productive even with the shitty offense. He has 612 yards from scrimmage this year. 502 of those are rushing yards in 6 games. Against the Cowboys in Week 1, he ran 12 times for 51 yards. That's a lot to do with the actual score of that game. And when you flip it around, the Giants, well, not even flip it around. When you look at our defense, now we have to, of course, we got less weapons to worry about. They got an offensive line that's banged up. They got no quarterback. The Giants allowed 8 sacks to the Raiders on Sunday. Again, 2 sacks on Daniel Jones, 6 sacks on DeVito. The Giants rank dead last in the NFL, like I said earlier, with 49 sacks allowed. And in Week 1 against the Cowboys, the Giants allowed 7 sacks to 5 different players. I mean, if you ever want to talk about that situation, I can show you the Micah Parsons domination in the Giants game. I mean, you can see the sacks coming. That's Micah there with 1. But then it wasn't over there because Micah created sacks for the rest of his team. As you can see here, Osa and DeMarcus Lawrence getting a sack there, or DeMarcus Lawrence did here. Again, that's 2 sacks, right? Here's 3 sacks. I think that's Osa. I can't see, or Armstrong. Here's Micah in the middle there, but no problem. We got Osa clobbering him from that side there. Just wherever Micah's lined up, the double, triple team them, didn't matter. Sacked. This is the first game against the Giants, and it was a complete disaster for the Giants. We controlled the game, and this should be the same, if not worse, at home. Come on, 40-0? How about 60-0? Maybe that will happen. I don't know. But the Giants were horrific, and that was when they were at their best last time we played them. The other issue with the Giants have scored fewer than 20 points in 8 of their 9 games this year so far. And they've scored 10 or fewer in 5 of their 9 games this year, the Giants. This is pitiful, horrendous. I mean, they can barely score 10 points. And they definitely, and again, they sometimes score 20 or get close to that. 8 out of their 9 games, they score under 20. 5 out of those 9 games, they scored 10 or less. That's the horrible. They are last in the NFL in scoring offense. They're only putting up 11.2 points per game. Do you think the Giants should score 10? I don't think they should score anything into the double digits. I'm being honest, guys. They, again, worst scoring offense. They have the worst point differential in the league. That means they get scored on and they can't score. They're at negative 116 points, the Giants. These statistical categories, guys, you can see it in the loss to the Raiders. The Raiders are not that good. But against the Raiders, the Giants managed only 6 points. Dug an early hole. Bad starts for them. We know about that feeling, but man, the Giants have 10 times worse starts than us when it comes to games. And that's a trend for the Giants this year. I'm going to finish up with that as we finish up tonight and get your last comments and your last thoughts on a quickie Cowboys chat. But yeah, guys, the Giants getting in early holes like we have done when we've lost our games. The Giants get in an early hole every game. All right, there's a trend for the Giants. This is the 3rd game the Giants trailed by at least 20 points while being shut out in the first half. They did rally to win one of them in Week 2 against the Cardinals. That's the only one that they've done that in. It has not been the norm. Slow starts have overshadowed the season for the Giants. Of course, for us in some ways too, but for the Giants, it's even worse. The Giants have been outscored 125 points to 42 points in the first half of their 9 games this year combined. It's insane, guys. They've entered the locker room at halftime with a lead only 2 times in 9 games. Vegas immediately jumped out in front with a touchdown on their opening drive, and it faced no third downs for the Raiders on that opening scoring drive against the Giants, going up 7-0. And that set the tone early for the Raiders. They kept padding their lead after that. The Giants consistently playing from behind. It puts a crazy amount of pressure on the Giants defense to play perfect football. It never happens. And the Giants had 11 legitimate drives, possessions against the Raiders. 11 of them. 4 resulted in punts. So they got 7 left. 2 of them ended because of interceptions. So they got 5 left. And 4 other ones turnover on downs. They didn't get it on 4th down. So all their 11 legitimate possessions, they only scored on 1 of them. And at that rate, it's impossible to win games for the Giants. It's actually even harder to be competitive. I mean, I guess it's harder to win games, but they're rarely competitive in any of their games this year. They've won 2, and and one of them they should have lost to the Cardinals. So, wow. The Giants are in the deepest doo-doo patch you could ever see a team going through here. Wow. What do you guys think about this first look at the Giants? Because I think there's going to be a Cowboy domination. It's going to be taking out the trash. Just plain and simple, the Giants are going to be torn. That's what I'm thinking this week, guys. Everybody in the house, make sure you don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe. Notification bell. We'll be back tomorrow. The wife will be in full effect tomorrow as we break down, we're going to look at the big D of Dallas versus this Giants tiny offense, the New York Tinies. Because I think it's going to be, they shouldn't even get like 3 first downs of this game. Definitely get no points. This should not happening. That's all I'm saying. This should be a blowout of immense proportion. It might be the biggest blowout of the season. Now, let me do some quick shout-outs here and give the last comments. I see Cactus G, Mike Aldana, amazing games. Cowboys, Mosh in the house. 3rd and goal, Asmodeus. Cactus G, amazing game. Justin D in the place to be. Jason Renfro. I'll drop all those emojis for you guys to have tomorrow. I got like 5 of them, as you can see. So they'll be coming. We got Cactus. We got amazing games. We got Mike Aldana. Justin D. Little Dallas Cowboy in the house. Craig Olson, yeah, he's a dumbass. They hate on us, but they need us. Right, 3rd and goal? Exactly. Truer words never spoken. Justin D. Correlates that comment. Rolando Rodriguez, why don't the Cowboys use a tight end to help steal? Or running back? Exactly. McCarthy's saying they're going to keep the things the way they're going right now and not really touch on that. I'm sure they have to make an alteration to help Terrence Steele. The whole point for the Cowboys is they're trying to use all their weapons, and they're putting their money on the fact that Terrence Steele, getting that money this year, should be holding up that side. Obviously, it's not working. Obviously, we need to bring him some help. And it should happen in the game. Not afterwards, after you look at the film and say, yeah, he's going to be better next week. No, he's got to do it now. We can't allow that to happen. Jason Renfro in the house. Cowboys Mosh in the house. 3rd and goal here with us. 40 burgers. I'm saying 50 burgers. Well, it should be. It should be a 50 burger, right, Jason? Yeah, getting money here in the house. Justin D. We're favored by 15.5 to 16 points. Yeah. We should get 5 takeaways at least. It should be getting 8 sacks and 5 turnovers. This should be a domination, a crazy, crazy domination. Chalkdale said he had higher hopes for Jacob Eason. He shit the bed. And again, he may be the starter this week with no time on I think DeVito, Barkley, those are the guys that got a chance to maybe Matt Barkley to get a chance to start. I don't know about Eason, but we'll see. Either way, I'm not worried about any of them. Eric Black in the house says, we signed another wide receiver without answering the major problems on our O-line and defense and running back room. Shaking my fucking head. Wow. Eric, old school OG here with me since our first live stream. I know him from Facebook days. And he's right. 1,000% right. This is where I see the misplaced. It's like holding a little carrot for everybody, for the Cowboy fans to see. We didn't do a trade, so here you go, guys. We got Martavis Bryant. Hasn't played in 5 years, but hey, hype him up. That's the fucking clown show of the Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones crew there. Much love, Eric, Justin D. Amazing games. Mike Aldana. I don't know how he keeps the job. Brian Dable, he says. He won't have it too long, I think. They keep going through their coaches like I don't know, like a stomach virus in Mexico. Let's see here. Trade deadline is over. That's all they can pull out is they say, oh, trade deadline's over, guys. Let's grab this guy, Martavis Bryant. Seabass said, we'd be respectful if Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Mike McCarthy say Dak arrest and Cooper Rush plays. I think that if we do that, we're basically saying the season's over, Seabass. That's what we're saying. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm with Eric Black. The Cowboys either make the moves or don't tease us with dumb shit. That's what they're doing. So it is what it is. This game needs to look like the Broncos against the Dolphins in 70 to whatever it was. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it should be that. It's NFL football. That's a true anomaly. But we should destroy this Giants team. By halftime, it should be 27-0. This game should be over at half. We should be thinking about resting our guys. Yeah, I agree with you there. About resting some guys here, Seabass. Cooper Rush should play the whole second half if this game ends up being the way it should be. The Lunatic said the G-Men and Panther game should both have been moved to noon kickoffs. I'm telling you, the Lunatic, you're right. Grimbot here said they should have went for Wentz. You hurt my insides there. He's with the Rams now. Good luck there with them. The strongest O-line package, I hear you. Eric Black in the playoffs, we gotta be ready. This can't be no Terrence Steele shit fest. Because we're going to lose a one and done in the playoffs if we do that. Seabass said this game should be easy for the defense. Jordan Lewis should have an interception. But Jordan Lewis has been one of our weaknesses in our secondary. Thomas Garrett, I agree. Lyle Collins is done. The Lunatic said we should have no false starts, offsides, or delay game penalties. Versus the Giants, damn, we shouldn't have them against the Eagles, right? But the Cowboys undisciplined. It shows sometimes. And Derek Black said Jay Lewis not playing as well as he used to. And that's true. It's that foot fracture also affecting him, it seems. Maybe it's more. So let's see if the Cowboys can get more sacks than the Giants' point total. That's a bold prediction. I'm saying it. Cowboys should have more sacks / turnovers than the Giants have fucking points. Facts. Yeah, I mean, if we lose or if we win a close game, this is an embarrassment, Grimbot. I'm just saying, being honest. Pioneer said Kelsey got surprise drug tested after the game. He might. Yeah. Listen, you know how the NFL does. Mukwamu, I agree with you, Eric Black. I know that others have said use Israel Mukwamu in the slot corner over Jordan Lewis. I said it last week as well. Think about doing that. I agree. He's wasting away. This will be a year he's going to play more. And not doing it. It seems like they're holding these guys back. Dan Quinn, I got to know the game plan. I wish I could know the game plan there. Put the Giants away early, says Michael Down. I handle business. Agree. Yeah, Cop Pizzle is basically on a ledge right now, Pioneer. I love the Giants getting dropped there. 70 burgers to Seabass. Little Dallas Cowboy in the house. New York Giant offense, so says Pioneer, equals the annexation of Puerto Rico. Remember that play? Amazing Game says Wanye Thomas needs to play. Hell yeah. We've been saying that for weeks here as well. What's up, Mosh, man? Sub it up to him. He might be going live. You might see me jumping over there. By the way, there is an MCF After Dark channel. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be a new thing starting up, but it's not associated with this channel, guys. So, it's going to be too late for most of the family here. We talk anything but sports on that channel. That's starting off tonight, tomorrow. I don't know. Starting off whenever I want to go live. It's just for fun. It's a for fun channel, but you got to find it, guys. I'm not going to post it anywhere. If you know, you know. If you're in, you're in. But I might say some things that, politically speaking, it might piss off. We're not going to all agree. But we have debates, and that's what's fun. But that's not football. That's a whole different thing. I'll be joining the Mosh crew over there a little bit later. Now, the Amazing Game said Cowboys 56, Giants 10. And 10 shouldn't even be 10. If they get double digits, man, I don't know. I don't know what we did so wrong that let them get 2 scores on us. The Lunatic said, it's America's Game of the Week. Another game I'll watch with the volume down and listen to. MCF, MCW, The Lunatic. Truly appreciate you, man. The Godfather here at MCF. Appreciate everything you do for the channel, the jerseys. One of the true representatives of the star in the whole Cowboy fan base. Landlord from Alabama in the house. What's up? They did help, and they just can't help every play, but they could have helped them more in critical moments, though. That's the thing. I think it was in the game, Landlord. That's what kind of maybe caught the coaches, Soliari and McCarthy, all off guard a little bit. I'm going to guess that because they didn't expect Terrence Steele to fucking shit the bed that bad. 3 different guys getting sacks on him, on Dak. That's just... It's not like one guy's dominating him. It's like they're all dominating him. That's what bothered me. So, yeah, critical moments for, a 6-yard line, you gotta help him out, and they didn't. He was. We're talking about the XFL was where what's his name? Martavis Bryant was playing in last. Poor stunts and Grimbot. Let's see here. We got the Lunatic in the house. Asmodeus. He said the same thing about Arizona, but hey, and you know what? If the Cowboys blow this game against the Giants, it's over, guys. This is a must win. The next 4 games are must wins, and I know the Cowboys cowboy, but if they want to make get any chances to like save the playoffs, run that we maybe have to go through, maybe make a run at this thing before we get to the playoffs, then we have to win these 4 games, and it should be wins. If we don't win, it's the Cowboys being weak. It's the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's no trap games. They had their fucking blown game against the Cardinals. They blew chunks against the Niners. They lost a good battle there against the Eagles, but they still lost. There's no losses allowed here for the next 4 weeks. I am sorry, family. I am sorry. I can't accept that. Raiders suck. They also stomped the Giants. This should be backups by second half, says Azteca, and I agree. Aldana said, yeah, the Swifties over there. They're trying to save him over there, right, Mike? Thomas Garrett in the house here. There's the shout-outs and the comments. There's Cowboy Mosh. Sub it up to him. Justin D. In the place to be. I don't want to hear y'all politics or religious discussions. I hear you, Justin. That's why. It's not even connected to this channel. That's just if people want to get into stuff, talk about stuff. It's, you know me, I'm all about freedom of speech and talking about it all. So, I'll let all the viewpoints come up there, but I also have mine. But not here in this channel. This is not politics, religion, or anything. This is my Cowboys family. This is Dallas Cowboys, right? That's what this is about. What's up, Daniel Berry Sports in the house? Landlord said, yep, unexpected, and it looked horrible with not helping out. Terrence Steele, and that's coaching, too. Coaches have to help them. In the middle of a game, you got to see that kind of shit. So, I hear you. Cowboy Mosh in the house. Thomas Garrett. Steele was ass Sunday. He was, as I saw him, the last time I got flashbacks of his rookie year with the Cowboys, and he was true ass every game. So, he needs to refine himself. What's up, Amazing Games? Mark's a badass. Seabass in the house. Daniel Sports highlights here with us. Hey, I agree, landlord. If we lose this game against the Giants, just listen. Let's play out the season. One and done in the playoffs. That's the expectations. That's it. Let's just be honest. Let's just be all honest to ourselves here, right? Eric Black said, should never let go of Connor Williams. Lael Collins. Now, Lael Collins is done, I think, as far as his abilities right now. I do think that Steele was a little bit too quick to pay him after tearing his knee. I say this about Gallup. I say this about Steele. I say this even about Pollard. You can even say this about. But it's more about the ligament stuff. That's the issues that we held on to Jordan Lewis. There's no other options past Terrence Steele. There's no other options past Jordan Lewis. That's why we have to stick with them. But I don't think we should have to pay them, especially Terrence Steele yet. A 1-year deal would have been fine. I like Connor Williams at center. We couldn't work in that center. Now he's one of the best centers in the league. We couldn't work Connor Williams at center though here with the Cowboys. So there you go. Yeah, these next weeks should be wins, hands down, MCF. Agreed, Thomas. No diggity, no doubt. He says here that Eric Black said Connor was a penalty machine. That is true. But how is he one of the top 5 centers of the league now? And at guard and at center, that guy couldn't even snap the goddamn ball at center. I don't know. It's coaching, maybe. I don't know. Cowboys have to show up no matter who we're playing. 100% correct, Mike. Azteca said free Wanye Thomas, Hunter Lipke, Rico Dowdle, and Israel Mukuamu. There might also be a Sim Richards or TJ Bass time because Steele is not looking 100% yet. Let him heal correctly. Throwing him out there too soon. We'll have to see. Bad decision by the Joneses, says Azteca. I think signing him for a fucking big deal is a mistake. We should have got him a 1-year deal, and then we could have got him cheaper for the future after this season if we really wanted him. Same thing with when we had the Dalton Schultz situation. Same thing when we had Michael Gallup. Same thing when we had Tony. Well, Tony Pollard's on a 1-year deal, so I guess that's that. But we tagged him, though. Amazing Games, yes, said Mike A. Yes, sir. Mike Aldana. Justin D. We are the Cowboys. We pay guys coming off of major issues. I'm gonna finish it with this picture because you don't know what's coming. When you pay guys that are injured, coming off of injuries, you pay them big money for multiple years, multi-year, multi-million. It's the clown fucking show. Fucking goddamn fucking old bastards. Anyways, Steve said Mark Colombo would have had these boys right. Yeah, Eric. Yeah. I hear you, man. He even played fullback for the hell. He even played football for the goal line push. We could have used it in multiple ways. I mean, just saying, we forget about our guys, and the Cowboys, let them slide right out. Yes, Mosh, man, we're about to end this here. A lot of people go over there for the Mosh show, and then we'll just chill over there for a little bit. Maybe have some shots and have some drinks, smoke it up. Much love, Mike Aldana. The Clown Show is rolling the dice on the wrong injury-prone players. You're goddamn right. Thank you all for joining us here on another one. Hit the like right now. Hit subscribe right now. Hit that notification bell right now. A big shout out right now to those that keep the thing going here. Yes, Lincoln Kane, star level member, back in that one of the top shelf memberships. Much love from Australia, repping that star. Mark Hovsepian, who's come across, jumped into second place on the overall board, coming in like a flame, ready to burn the whole place down if it needs to be. Much love to the man, Mark Hovsepian. Appreciate you, man. The record holder there, sponsor of the week, all-time record holder. Jason Renfro sneaking in there, a little super chat to get on that board. I'll get him up there shortly. And, of course, amazing games. Amazing games. He's up there and currently the overall leader on our board. So, yes, extra special shout out and thanks to again, Mark Hovsepian, Jason Renfro. Amazing games. And by the way, Jason Renfro, I got you on there. He is in 8th place on this overall board. As we say goodnight here in a minute or two. Retro's in 9th, Jason Renfro in 8th, and then a bunch of guys tied in 5th, like the Lunatic, Clark Mum, Kent, and Calvin Richard. Appreciate you guys. And we got Skeptical Fan in 4th place, Lincoln Kane in 3rd, Marco Seppian in 2nd, and in 1st place, like I said multiple times, the man from the West Coast, repping that star over everything, Amazing Games. Don't forget the sponsor of the week, representing this board back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys, Snug X. You know why he's here. He's the sponsor of the week, trying to go for a 3-peat, but he's got a 12-peat. 12 weeks in a row as the Cash App King. I mean, second best we've ever had here on My Cowboys Family. The only person that did better, Jason Renfro, has 20. Right now, that hangs in the balance. A live streak could be broken in about 2 months. Good luck to Snug X. He's the king of the Cash App. Retro Scotty's got 28 points in the Stream Boss. And the man staying skeptical is the gifting champion of last week with a whopping 12 gifted memberships. The leaders this week, no leader in the gifting board, but in the gifting membership board. But we do have a leader in the Cash App side. And that Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Again, much love to him. So he's got that crown in the membership gifting, and he's trying to get that crown from SnugX in the Cash App with his PayPal drop. And the overall board, like I said, yes, Marco Seppian in 2nd, and in 1st, Amazing Games. Amazing. Guys, thank you again for rocking with us. Cannot do this without your love and support. Justin D. Yeah, you see that Philly coach wearing a thong? He said he was caught off guard or something. He was doing washed laundry. He had a red thong. That was really weird, but I'm gonna just leave that for Philly fans to talk about because that's more their style. Tush push, and thongs, red thongs for their male coaches. Interesting. Eric Black, hey, I hear you, man. They get rid of all the players. We had to get nobody we need. It's like getting Halle Berry, and then cheating her with Martha Stewart. The fuck out of here. I hear you, man. It is a shame, Amazing Games. It is a shame. But listen, we'll be back talking to the Cowboy news and fun updates tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow, the practice injury report comes out. We'll know more about everything there as far as this upcoming game for the Giants. Not really worried about anybody really being too injured, and not really worried about anybody missing this game against the Giants. I'm just being honest. We could be missing 3 guys. We better fucking kill these Giants by 20 or more points at home. So that's tomorrow. We'll practice. We'll hear from McCarthy, and of course, we'll hear from some of the players. More importantly, you hear from us here, the wife and myself on My Cowboys Family tomorrow. Why? We'll be talking about our Big D going up against this very weak, tiny New York Tiny Giants offense. That's tomorrow's breakdown, guys. Thank you for joining us here for another one. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for rocking with us. And as the wife is always reminding all of us, why do we do this each and every night here on My Cowboys Family? It's that navy blue. That silver, too. And always, that star over everything. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, we always rep that star over everything. And here on My Cowboys Family, in this little corner of YouTube for 6+ years and beyond, 7 seasons of these live stream reactions on the weekly. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! We got to get that 6 and beyond, and we got to get it sooner than goddamn later. It's been 27 plus years. I'm sick of it. Thank you all, though, for helping me through this misery of 27 plus years. In the chat, dropping the knowledge all night long. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's just in the Ask Snoop Dogg. Yeah, she's a freak, all right. Little Dallas Cowboys. That's hot. Amazing game said drop the beat, and that's what we're going to do, Justin. Eric, thank you all. As we say here, thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat. We truly appreciate your thoughts on our Cowboys. Cannot do this on the nightly without your drops of love from above. So thank you on that side of things. And guys, if we can drop out officially and clock out officially here on My Cowboys Family and reload, talk about our defense versus their offense tomorrow and more. Before we can drop out for the night, we got to drop the beat. Oh yeah, beat's been dropped. It's a riggedy rap here on M to the C to the F. Thanks, family. We'll be back tomorrow for some more of this fun, this back and forth, this talk. And of course, go sub it up to Mosh if you want. Go sub it up to MCF after dark. You might catch me on the next couple nights. I don't know. Extra late night after these streams. I have insomnia. So we can talk for hours sometimes, guys. But it is not football. It's everything else, right? Appreciate everybody again. Welcome. I appreciate you guys dropping your knowledge on tonight's stream. We'll be back tomorrow, the wife and I, breaking out all the news, info, and updates, and everything else that comes along with that star. You know it. Here, Jerry's got a little bit of something on his mind about these New York Giants. He also said, let me bring in the biggest get of the year, Martavis Bryant. That's a Jerry Jones way. But Dak spoke today. He'll be probably speaking on Thursday. Practice starts again tomorrow. Gotta forget about the Eagles. Close that book, burn it, and let's get on these Giants and kick their raggedy little asses. Here at MCF, you know what it's always about. That navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here in My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house, even the damn haters. Thank you all for joining us. And again, thank you for hitting that like, for hitting subscribe, and for hitting that notification bell so you know when we're going live on the nightly. We'll see you back tomorrow for another one, guys. Have a safe night, a great night. Stay safe. Peace. And never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.